Now, I want to talk to you about this exciting topic on SEO where you might be hearing a lot of buzz about it lately, and why should you care? Now, in case you're wondering, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Alright, and for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use Google as the main reference point simply because Yahoo and Bing is nowhere near as popular as Google. Alright, and for those who are wondering why should you even care about SEO, well, think about it. When was the last time you did not use Google? Hi everyone, my name is Robin Ooi, out of Catapults, which is an SEO consultancy firm all the way from Australia, aka Down Under. And since 2008, I've been fiddling around with a lot of internet business model, things like affiliate marketing, PPC, PPV, you name it. None of them come even close to what I can achieve with local SEO. Alright, now on top of that, I'm the best-selling author of the book called Your SEO Sucks in Amazon, and I'm also the creator of two products. The first one is Freelance Fastlane, which is essentially an online community where I teach my students how to generate six-figure income doing local SEO and charge 10 times more than their competitors. Okay, and the second product is SEO Fastlane, which is essentially an SEO outsourcing service that, basically it's for people like SEO agencies or consultants who hate doing all the link building activities. So they just come to us, they pass on all the details, and our team looks after them. Okay? You see, after I posted my last video about why local SEO is far from being dead, I got asked a lot of questions from my friends and family on, what the heck is SEO? Now, probably the way that I will explain search engine optimization to my dad in terms of what I do is the fact that I help other people's website get on the first page of Google so that it can be found, full stop. Now, SEO is all about authority and relevancy. Think about it. Why do we keep using Google? Is it because the name Google sounds cooler than Yahoo? No, it's because Google is able to provide us with laser-focused results time and time again in the shortest time period. And you might ask, why does that happen? Well, there's a million reasons why. One of it is because they've got, one of the best and the brilliant minds in the world that come up with the algorithm, aka the criteria, to decipher which website they should be listing it on the first page and present it to us so that we can find what we're looking for in the shortest time period. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is head over to my trusty computer screen and I'll show you the more technical side of SEO. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so now I'm on my computer screen. So in this short presentation, what I'm going to be covering is SEO 101, which is essentially I'll give you an overview about how SEO works behind the scene and how Google actually works as well. Alright, so this is an overview. I'll be covering a bit of an SEO background, a bit of a history, and the two most important elements when it comes to SEO, which is on-page SEO and off-page SEO. Okay, and here's a picture of me giving a talk about SEO to one of my corporate clients, which I do once in a while as requested. So as in the SEO background, what I'm going to be covering is, what is Google, how does Google actually work, what is SEO, and why should you care about organic search, okay, and what is basically happening in the world of search. So a bit of a background about Google. Now I won't bore you with all the nuts and bolts and details about Google. Well, it was established back in 1998 and it's currently the biggest search engine in the world, and they've got the advertising company department where they name it AdWords, Google AdWords, which some of you might have heard about it. So essentially it works on pay-per-click basis, right? So every time someone clicks on an ad, they charge per click, all right? And that's where they make the bulk of their money, which is approximately about $100 million per day, okay? So this diagram basically illustrates how Google works in the simplest manner, right? So as you can see here, Google essentially is a huge database, right? And they've got all these spiders that goes out to millions, if not billions of websites on a daily basis, and they crawls and collect all the information that they can, and they bring it back to the database, okay? And then what happens next is they have their own algorithm to determine which website is worthy to be on the first page of Google and which website aren't, okay? So this is essentially their secret sauce, and they keep changing this algorithm on a monthly basis, right? And after going through that algorithm, it spits out the results as you can see on your screen, right? And like this whole process happened within split seconds. And whenever you punch in into the query box any keys, keyword or search phrases, you get a results spit out within less than a second or so, right? And that's purely because Google has got this humongous database behind the scene, right? So don't underestimate what's happening behind the scene when you punch in into the simple query box. A lot of things that actually happen behind the scene, okay? So just to clarify, SEO works on the organic listing, which is this section as you can see here. So whenever you search for any keyword, you always get, sometimes you might see this, sometimes you might not, the ad section and the right hand side. This is Google AdWords, all right? And this is where they make $100 million a day, right? So you see, the thing is, I'm not sure about you, but I would say, like including myself and approximately 80% of the people out there, when they search on any key phrases in Google, they tend to click on this area rather than this section, because we are kind of, our eyes are kind of been trained to be blinded by the ads. We tend to look for the organic results because it tends to give us more relevant, useful information. Okay, whereas with these ads, it's more promotional. Now, I'm not saying that AdWords doesn't work. Otherwise, they won't be making $100 million per day up until today, right? I'm just saying that majority of people focuses on the organic listing, okay? Now, when it comes to SEO, it all boils down to authority and relevancy. And like I said, it has to go through the algorithm, which is essentially their secret sauce or their criteria, whichever way that you want to name it. And there are basically two main elements that contributes to the big ranking factor, which is the on-page SEO and the off-page SEO. And on-page SEO, there's only about 20% of it that contributes to the ranking factor, and then the remaining 80% are contributed by the off-page SEO, which are essentially the links. Okay, now I'll explain a bit more in detail later. Okay, so in a nutshell, it all boils down to authority and relevancy. If you can pick nothing else from this presentation, it's all about authority and relevancy. So remember how I talk about the on-page SEO and off-page SEO? So on-page SEO is basically what does your website tell the world, okay? Which are all the content that you have in control, things like your content, your file names, your URLs, or the basically the H1 tags, which I'll explain a bit later, all the things that you have in control, okay? And moving on to the off-page SEO, this is essentially well referring to your backlinks. Now, a backlink is a mention of your website from someone else's website. Now, in the conventional business, when the longer your business or the longer your business is established, the more referrals you're going to get from your existing client or your suppliers or whoever that knows you. But from Google's perspective, the metric that they use is backlinks, okay? Which means it can be a link from someone else's website back to your website. It's as simple as that. Now remember, it always boils down to authority and relevancy. So think about it. To, you know, a backlink coming from a relevant authority figure within your niche is easily worth 10 times more than a link coming from a spammy website. Okay, so you got to be careful with that. So the nitty-gritty stuff of on-page SEO, like I said, the title tag, which is the name or the title that you can see on top of your browser. H1 tag can be the big bolded, you know, headline on each page. And the meta description and meta keywords, these are all the gibberish code that Googlebot looks at, okay? And the way that you can find out about this is if you go to any website, if you right click and you head over to view page source, you'll see this, right? So meta description, essentially a short, brief statement about your website, or it can be any specific pages that tells people what that page or website is all about, and you want to entice them to click over to your website as opposed to your competitor's website. All right, and if you don't have that description, what Googlebot is going to do is they're going to scrape the first two sentences of your website and then just populate it as it is. Now, don't underestimate this meta description because this is your billboard. Now, these are the wordings that you see on Google when you search on any key phrases. The two-line blurbs underneath any results, those are the meta description. Okay, and when you talk about meta keywords, you're talking about a summary of, I would say, up to 8 keywords that summarizes what that website or page is all about. See, our job is to make sure that we make it as easy as possible for Googlebot or Spider to decipher what your page is all about. That's all there is to it, okay, when it comes to on-page SEO. So here's other factors. It could be your URL, your alt tag about your image, because Googlebot can't look at all these nice looking pictures. You need to name it and tell Googlebot what this image is all about, right? It can be the content, and it can be a keyword density. Keyword density means the number of times a specific keyword is repeated over and over again versus the rest of the, I would say, wordings that you use on your page, right? Now, I hope that didn't, get you even more confused, but all you need to remember is SEO always boils down to authority and relevancy, and that equals to ranking, right? So why should you care about SEO? Why should you care about organic listing? Like I said, Google is one of the biggest search engine in the world. 85% of internet searches are on Google, and 94% of Google searches click on organic search results. That's a huge number, right? And 42% that goes to Google search organic listing, they click on the first result. And that is why it's such an important factor or element to be on the first page and on the first results, right? Because if you think about it, how many times have you scrolled past the first page or the third page, right? You just keep refining your searches if you can't find what you're looking for. So being on the first page of Google is having a prime real estate on Google, right? So you're going to get thousands, if not millions of eyeball going through your listing. So just a bit of an overview, what's happening around the world of search. Now you might have noticed these days Google have rolled out Google Instant, and what that means is each and every time when you start typing in a single character, Google will try to predict what you're looking for. I know this this might sound a bit crazy and a bit daunting because Google is just a humongous database that's been trying to collect more and more information about each individual in the world, right? So the results that you see these days when you log into your Gmail account might be different from myself or your friends. That's just purely because of your searching habit, right? And some of you might have heard a lot about, all the Google updates such as Google Penguin or Google Panda. So those are the updates that they roll out to counter against people who are trying to game the system. Okay? So you might see it, some of the big names like Forbes, Overstock, or JCPenney, which had, at one point been penalized because of over optimization. So it's not just the small names, it's just sometimes it can involve big names, just as long as if you don't follow the fundamentals. If you're trying to game the system, you get penalized, right? And of course Google is trying to go into the social elements of network. As you can, as you're probably aware, Facebook is growing at a very fast pace, so Google wants a piece of that pie as well. So for those of you who aren't aware, like I mentioned earlier on, I'm the one of the best-selling Kindle ebook. I'm the author of it. It's called SEO Sucks. Well, what I cover in there is how to convert visitors into leads and all the advanced SEO tactics. Okay, so if you haven't, grab a copy of it, head over to Amazon, and you can, basically download it and read it whenever you want. Okay, here's an overview, and here's some of the raving reviews that I've got so far. So as you can see here, it's definitely a jam-packed book if you're serious about learning more about SEO. So feel free to head over to Amazon and grab a copy of it. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, or hit me up on Facebook or whatever channel that you can find me, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So once again, thanks for watching this presentation, and I'll talk to you soon. As you can see, SEO is not as complicated as you think they are once you understand the fundamentals of it. And no, Google doesn't just rank websites based on the number of people and traffic that they get to each listing. I get asked that question sometimes, and people tend to think that the more visits that a certain website gets, the higher Google will rank them. That's just not as easy as that. So whether you run a business or not, as long as you own a website, you should care about SEO, and you should find out more about SEO, because there's simply no reasons why you shouldn't optimize your website. Okay, so either by yourself or get some professionals to do it for you. Alright, because why would you want a website if your intention wasn't to have it found by someone else on the internet? Right, so there's basically no reasons why you shouldn't optimize a website. Okay, so I hope you had that aha moment after you watched this video. Alright, so go ahead and hit that like button and share it with as many people as you can, because I want to reach out to as many people as I can and teach them about SEO. Alright, and again, leave your feedback or comment, or if you have any questions, please feel free to do so and ask me, because I'll personally go through each one of them and answer them. Alright, and in case you haven't done so, I want you to subscribe to my free SEO training, where I'll be sending out really cool SEO training from time to time. Alright, so once again, thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon.